In the previous example, we created a calculation data set that used a very simple expression, but it was still an expression that was in the performance equation syntax format. This performance equation syntax format is, well, it has a number of rules. Common rule is the tag names, and the times are going to be in single quotes, strings are going to be in double quotes. In any event, there's a large number of rules that you should know about if you're going to be using performance equation expressions. So there's a nice resource that you'll find on your server, or excuse me, on your clients. It's called pereference.chm. It's a help file. You'll find it in Program Files, PyPC Help folder. Let me show you an example of it. And I strongly recommend, if you're going to be doing work with a lot of these data sets, they're calculation data sets, and you want the full functionality of having an expression syntax to work with, then take a look at some of the take a look at this reference. You can see the basics of the syntax, what the different syntactical elements are, what the rules are, what the delimiters are, what type of special functions are available. There's all kinds of interesting functions that you might not find anywhere else, like find when a value has been equal to another value, or when a tag has been equal to a certain value. Those types of things. So I recommend you take a look at that. Now let's take a look at a yet one more calculation data set. Let's add another one. This time the calculation data set is going to be more than just a simple sinusoid. Let's do something, we'll call it MySineCalc. And it's going to be a calculation that's more than just looking at aggregations like total. I'll call this MySineCalc. It's just going to be a simple calculation. And here's the expression. Now the expression is going to be the value of the tag sinusoid times 2 plus the value of the tag CDT158. It's a very simple expression. I could get more complex if I wanted to, using that reference to look at all the functions available to me. But the point of this is to show you that, that this is an option for you. You can do this calculation and then show this in your web parts. Now, just as before, I'm going to leave this as a 1-hour interval right on the hour. When I choose Get Columns, this is going to give me all the columns available. And normally, if you simply want the answer, then the column you'll use is value. That's the one that you'll put on your web part. Now, the way we handle some of these aggregations like average, max, and min is we simply determine what was the average result for this calculation during that period. What was the maximum, what was the minimum result. So if we were to preview this, you'd see that the calculation is being done. There we go. And we're retrieving averages, maximum, minimums, etc. All those different functions are available. Now once I like the configuration, I'll go ahead and save this. And again, as we just demonstrated before, we can then take this MySineCalc here, take that calculation data set, we can put that on a web part page and on something like an RT table web part. And again, it may be belaboring the obvious, but let me go ahead and demonstrate how I would do that. I'll go into my workspace here, and I'll open up this same web part. This time I think I'm going to change the size of it just so that we don't have this big gap in the middle again. So we'll modify this, and we're going to add something new to this. In addition to MySineTotal, we'll add a second data set. That's the one we just created, called MySineCalc. I'll go ahead and say OK. As you can see, all those values are available. These are the things that we could show for that calculation. I would simply like to see the value. That's simply the answer. What's the answer when you do that calculation? Now the other thing I'd like to do here is, let me just change the appearance. Right now it's set at an unfixed number pixels. I'll go ahead and change the width, and let's set this to, we'll go with 200 pixels. We'll go ahead and say OK. And here are the results right here. Oops, it looks like I forgot to select some columns. Let me go ahead and select columns again. I chose value. I'm not sure if I think I forgot to move it into the right column. Yeah, that's what I forgot to do. I'll go ahead and choose value. We'll move that down. That was my mistake from before. And we'll go ahead and say OK. And so here are the results. And again, as I did before, I'd probably want to see the timestamp as well, so I should have chosen value and time. So these are the calculations, just the result of that calculation, every hour right on the hour. Again, to the interest of thoroughness here, let me go ahead and put time on this. And we'll move it into the right position. Yeah, there we go. There's our results. So these are the results for each hour on the hour. And I was using the calculation expression syntax to come up with that sine times 2 plus CDT 158.